I can see the Sith side, man.
It's a snack.
You're on fire tonight. Space fire lit on a ship out in space. That's you. That's bubble.
You are
Campfire in
defying the
space.
odds.
How to subdue millennial wine mums. Like,
No. Oh.
first put on the sensory deprivation mask.
Just getting kinky now.
I'm gonna give you all a link, and I want you to open it at the same time and like scroll down and see this monstrosity I found on the internet.
Right. Yes.
Okay, mic check. Okay, good. Look, I look like a mad scientist. Okay, so except I'm not intelligent. So check this out. This is amazing.
Star Wars: The Acolyte. What? Wine down? What is this?
What is wine down? Anyway, it's basically for like wine mums or something, millennial wine mums who really like the Acolyte and want to drink. Is this wine? It's got peace and balance herbs. It's like Khmer's Acolyte herbal remedy.
It's an alcohol or alternative. Stress and sleep
Elderberry.
support.
$45 for that little thing.
No, but that's a Star Wars product, folks. Like, they need a picture of Khmer on it with like his rippling pecs and muscles, just like, like just Sith it out. Let the Sith out.
Use in the daytime.
What happens if you use it at night? Was it effect? What is this?
The dark side.
If it calms high stress and stuff like that. Why?
Caused by the show.
This is why they've made it. They're fully aware of the destruction they've caused, and like, we got to remedy this.
What is the market though? The market, because I'm like, the show kind of seems like it's geared towards
millennial wine
audience. Yeah, I guess maybe they're I know, but what? I don't understand the product placement. Who would know that even existed? Who would search that?
I was saying, how did you discover this?
I was just gonna say it's like it's an advertisement that was suggested to me along with my like Rialto Timotei shampoo and soaps and stuff like that.
Rob's Googling how to subdue millennial wine mums. Like,
no. Check this out. I have another one that's actually on.
He's in the rabbit hole.
No, like this is also on topic with what I just sent with this like herbal remedy. Check this out. This is amazing. Check this out. It's got to be the source of the names.
It's so relative to this. What the
OSHA May soap?
Oh my God.
Like, come on.
This makes it so much worse.
Because when I was 13 years old, I was in the bathroom and I swear to God, I wanted to make a D&D character who was a swashbuckler with like a fencing sword and a big mustache and kind of French. And I'm like, what's a cool name? And I took 2 shampoos and put them together. Rialto Timotei. So Headland did the same thing I did, only for OSHA May. It's bizarre. Like, I've done that. Only Rialto Timotei sounds so much better than OSHA May.
Well, because you took 2 different things. This is one thing. This is she took a similar idea but split it.
Damn, she definitely uses this product, and she was like, "No, it'd be so cool if I just called it like OSHA May, my essential oils. I just gotta do it, you know." From movies to video games, welcome to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is a review of episode 6 of The Acolyte, and we're gonna start it the way we always start it, with George explaining a little bit what this episode was about, and then we're gonna get into our likes and our dislikes. And I just want to let everyone know that I have no idea what the hell I'm going to talk about. George, take away.
I guess we'll see how it unfolds. In today's episode, we are now following Soul. I was like, names. We're following Soul as he's trying to travel back to headquarters with what's unbeknownst to him, May, but he thinks is OSHA. And she's, of course, still, I guess, tackling what she's going to do with him and her future. On the flip side, we have OSHA, who is with Khmer, and she is doing the exact same thing, also tackling what is she going to do? How is she going to handle Khmer and everything going forward? And while that's happening, we have home base trying to uncover what happened on Kofar with the Jedi. Could Soul be the one who killed everyone? They're not sure.
They should be sure. I mean, you think like they
They
should
should
know,
be
like they're
sure,
people, like
but they
I mean,
question
like,
it. But
yeah, well, but also watching the show, I kind of understand why all the Jedi are questioning each other because they suck. Anyway, okay.
yeah,
Let's get into things that anybody liked during this episode. Rob, anything you liked during this episode at all?
No, I think it should be called the convo rather than the corruption or whatever it was called, because it was nothing but conversations. Uh, in
teach
fact,
slash
there's
corrupt.
oh,
Mm,
corrupt, the convo
Yeah,
corrupt. Yeah, but
yeah,
I was trying to think as I was watching, like, what do I like here? And I did like Kamir overall.
mhm.
Like certain things he said, like whatever. I don't know, that line's kind of weird. I guess what I've sort of discovered is I liked character concepts like
yes,
Jackie or Yord. Like that's a cool concept, but the execution isn't very good. So when I say I like a character, it's kind of like I like the kind of concept of that character. Um, well, what I like about Kamir is just that he gets into his role, and I liked some of the moments where he's being pretty psychologically manipulative. So when I say I like him, it's not like, oh, I like the part when he went into the water or showed his scars. It was more like I liked his energy
yeah.
and some of the
Mhm.
moments of like that deep psychological manipulation I thought was cool. I'll get to the swims the skinny dipping in a moment, the Sith dipping, but one thing I did think I was trying to think, why did you do that? And I wonder if it was symbolic of depth, like reaching deep down, going to the dark depths. And that's why he goes into the water. I'm trying here. That's why he goes into the water. It's like the underbelly, like the undersurface of consciousness and what you think. So anyway, I was trying to like reach, but I like Kamir as his emotion, his energy. I liked him on screen, and I thought his some of the way he tried to manipulate her to get into those dark passions, like almost like an abusive relationship. I'm not saying line by line or whatever, but just sort of overall, I thought that was that kept my attention.
Ditto to the same things you said, Rob. I feel the same way about Kamir still. I think of all the actors, he's the only one that when I watch him, I'm seeing choices being made. You know what I mean? From an actor
Mhm.
standpoint. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching his performance and there's different things and different ways he could have done everything, you know what I mean? And seeing who
Mm,
he was to who he is now, I'm seeing a different guy. You know, I'm
mhm.
seeing these choices being made. And I like that. I will admit I am enjoying some of that, you know, from
Yep.
him. I wish he was given better dialogue to deal with, you
Yes.
know, but like how they're utilizing him is decent. It's a great way to utilize a Sith character, you know. He feels relatable. Like when you hear the things he's saying, it's like, oh, okay, you don't sound like that much of a bad guy. Even though we saw you do bad things, you have
Oh man.
a reason. There's a motive behind it that at least I can understand to something, or I'm starting to understand, I should say. Like we're still left with a lot of mystery behind him, but at least like you're getting some answers from him now. It's like, all right, you're not just like a ball full of hate per se,
Yeah.
you know. I liked something he did where he talked about the helmet and how it was sensory deprivation. And so like that let us know when he had the helmet on, he was blind and deaf to everything, which really made the last episode that much more devastating of how much power he wields.
Yes.
You know, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was very interesting. And it harkened back to like A New Hope with Luke training with the helmet on, you know, and he referenced it. That's what we use as Padawans and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, you know, going to that little thing and just showcasing like, okay, he's badass. We knew it already, but now we really know it. A little cute thing was the little dude Basil, seeing him amp up with his little rodent martial arts to try to fight May. I chuckled in that moment. It was cute. But that's probably it. Those are probably the two things I think that really stuck out to me. It
It's okay. Let it out. We're safe here.
Yeah.
was adorable.
So I think Amir, my one of my notes, it's just a observation. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Well, it's a good thing for the story. Is he is the most convincing Sith that I've ever seen. Like he's the most like you say, you don't seem so bad, even though you just like caused all that destruction. This is like, and like Rob said, it's like an abusive relationship. when the way he's talking to Osha is like, this is the way dudes talk to
Yeah.
girls a lot. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he's like every single ex-boyfriend I've ever had. I'm just like, you're not so bad. You just like murdered everyone I love, but it's okay. You asked me if I wanted to go skinny dipping. You must like me. Like, I just he's just so convincing and seeming like he has this deep side, like, oh, you gotta feel. He's like this tortured poet or something, right?
Oh
He's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
we have all these emotions because of this reason, and I'm kind of like, well, yeah, maybe the Jedi are wrong. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, people should embrace their emotions. That's right. That's not always evil. And I'm like falling for it as I'm watching it. I'm like a stupid girl. Like, this should know by now. But I
Yeah.
like that he's this kind of suave, and like Kylo Ren like kind of tried to be that. He was just way too whiny and everything like that. And I thought Kamir taking his shirt off was like a throwback to like Kylo Ren and his like high-waisted pants shirt off scene, trying to be a little tempter. But yeah, I think that Kamir's like really like, ooh, this is nice to see a suave Jedi. And I when I saw that whip lightsaber, I was like, oh, cool. But then my husband was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you bend light, and he's like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, light whip sabers are cool. I like them. I had a light whip saber when I was 14 playing the Star Wars RPG, pen and paper. I've been wanting a light whip forever. So I don't care. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. You can cut your own head off, light bends. I want it. Okay? And I like purple.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, lightsabers themselves don't make that much sense.
Mhm.
Light doesn't just stop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If it's like a plasma sword or a light sword, it's like it just stops. It would just keep
Yeah.
on going.
Mhm.
So it's just like some things we gotta kind of let go.
I agree. I agree. You can have some fun with it.
Oh, and then the other thing I liked was every scene without Osha or May in it. I just find that like in the show, it's just when Osha and May aren't in a scene, or if the main focus in a scene is somebody else, I like it better. I'm not trying to be a hater. There's something about her
Oh
acting
yeah.
in this or whatever.
Yeah.
I just it's kind of off-putting to me. That's all.
You're not wrong. You wanna know how right you are? My wife got home right as I was watching the show. All right. And she's not really paying attention. She's on her phone. She's unwinding from a long day of work. And it's that scene when she's with Kamir at the water and everything. And right. Oh no, it's not the water. It's I think at the cave, whatever. She whips out the lightsaber and she holds it to his
Mhm.
throat.
Because I failed.
And just the action of that, I hear her just like she's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, what
But
happened?" I thought I thought she read a bad email, and she's like, "This thing you're watching, it's like this horrible." Like, it's just the acting for her is so abysmal from her. Like she just
yeah,
in that moment she just couldn't handle it. It's like this is stupid.
yeah, I agree. Okay, well then here we go. With that being said, let's get into some stuff we just kind of like, what? What? Like how we felt about droplets of non-wine on our tongue to relax.
Kamir, Kamir acting against Osha, like comparing them on screen, you're like, ooh, Osha, you just don't really got the chops. And Kamir's all
No.
like, like you were saying, he's like, I don't want to be forward, but it seems like you're in a lot of pain, and I just want to know you're not alone.
There's dudes. There's dudes.
I feel vulnerable
Yeah.
right now, but I need someone too. Okay, so
Mhm.
like that. Anyway, George, you can start, or I can just say one thing and then let other people go. But in this show, it's called Hurry Up. Like Soul goes to his little walkie-talkie hologram. And he's like,
Oh my God.
something bad happened. And I'll tell you in a moment, it was a bad thing. Trust me, it was really bad. He should just grab the mic as we got Sith, folks. Just hit it. No, seriously. Like he should run and be like, God, guys, there's Sith. We are here. He just like, they're like, later the Jedi are like, there's a problem. Some people died. Like he needs to get to the core of the argument immediately. We encountered
Yeah.
a Sith. He killed us. Like that.
And he got
Like,
away.
yeah.
You don't got a confirmed body. He got
Yeah.
away. You know?
And he got away. Yeah. Like he could do that in 2 seconds. Like he jumps. He needs to go fast. And then when he fixes the intercom after he says like, or whatever transmitter, and he goes to May, you got the wheel, or take the wheel, take the wheel.
Take the
Like
Yeah,
what?
wheel.
that line annoyed me as opposed to like take the controls.
I thought of you, George.
Yeah.
I'm like, George is gonna hate this line.
Oh my God.
Take the wheel. Like, and then he
It's
goes
not a
back.
car.
It's not even a wheel shape. Like it's not even a wheel.
No.
No. He goes into the back of the ship and like gets mad and like hits the table. I'm like, any person, even if they're in emotional turmoil right now, would hurry it up. You got to hurry this. So that's one problem with hurrying. Basil, despite his cuteness, at the moment he sniffed the things out, he should have went and told Soul.
That's
I don't
what
think
I
he
was
did right away.
thinking.
Yeah.
And then he does his cute martial arts. Get out of that room and go tell Soul. I don't think he's told Soul yet. I think he goes around in the vents. Like, get out. Okay. Another thing with like delay and like, oh, what are they thinking about? May reboots Pip and then finds the other piece, and May's like, ooh, I'll take that one, sir. Click. Basil got away. Like he's gonna tell Soul, hurry up, and then he's running through the vents, and she's like, following after him. These are 3 scenes where it's like, hurry up.
Or use your brain.
Yeah.
Like
There's no
use your
urgency.
brain.
Yeah.
Use your brain to say the right things, and like your brain to say, hurry up. Like, come on, be people.
And where's your force? Where's the force power when you need it?
Oh yeah.
This little dude is running away. You could be like, force power, come back to me.
Yeah, crush his throat. Like,
Yeah.
She just
Like
didn't
it's
seem like. Also, how mad were you when they used the term? This was so stupid. Factory reset.
What if I reset you to factory settings?
I was like, they're
Yeah.
using this term just so Gen Z people will know what she's doing.
Yeah.
What and like we noticed that she uses the 2 buttons. She's pushing
like an
it
Apple, like an Apple iPod or something.
I thought that was funny. It was dumb, but I thought the same thing.
I got a factory reset. Like what factory? Like I don't like how. Why would you even think that? Like why would you think to say those 2 words together in long time ago in a galaxy far, far away? You would not.
And to add to it, I guess when you factory reset, you go to the dark side because he happened to have dark side colors.
They should have the window sound do 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 or something like that.
Eyes go red, and then Soul doesn't notice that his eyes are red. You love that thing, and it's like its eyes are red, his eyes are white the whole
Yeah.
time. Well, eyes.
Well,
Sorry.
you know,
Oh, he's bad
I would
now.
say arguably that between the eyes being red and Basil being there, those 2 things could have told. So because at the end, Soul does figure out that it's
He
May,
knows.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could assume that maybe he pieced it together along with whatever information Basil gave him. So I won't totally hold that. For me, it's the fact that he hugged her and he couldn't tell. His force sensitivity couldn't tell that wasn't OSHA, you know? Especially when you have a scene prior where OSHA's like, he's so strong with the force, he'll find me. It's like, bitch, you wrong. He sucks at the
you're
force.
wrong.
He's not a good Jedi. He's not.
Oh, was that hug a bit weird, or is that just me?
The moments with scenes where there's couples, so like Kamir and OSHA, May
Yep.
and Soul, when they were close to each other, they all felt forced. It was really weird, honestly. And like with OSHA and Kamir, it felt very sexual. Like I was waiting for them to kiss each other. Yeah.
Kiss. I was
So did
yelling.
my wife. My wife's like, "Oh, I didn't know I was gonna go here. You're gonna kiss each other."
Yeah.
And then
I mean-
with Soul and May, or who he thought was OSHA, it felt kind of father-daughter like, but it also felt, I don't know, like too emotional. Like the emotion
Yeah.
there was in a way where it's like, what did you do to OSHA?
100%.
What did you
Yeah.
what was your relationship with each other, you know?
So yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I thought there's a bit of weird forgive me, but a kind of eroticism going on.
Mm-hmm.
Those points, George and Marie, exactly. Also, forgive me, but I felt there is a bit of phallic imagery, a little bit. So number 1, the lightsaber, he's like naked in the water and she gets the lightsaber. He's like, put the elbow up higher. And then those 2 bird creatures with the noses rubbing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's just like weird, weird, intimate energy. Weird, intimate energy
Yes.
in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And then Green Lady and that stupid little boy Jedi she tugs around. Like, I don't know, man. She's like, do what I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I thought
I
it was
got
weird.
Well,
I got zero Jedi vibes from those two together.
I never have Jedi vibes at all in this show,
Yeah.
except for maybe Yord and Jecki. Jecki in that last episode, maybe Yord. He was the most stoic, or he seemed like he actually knew what he was doing a little bit. But also, what the hell was that scene for with the green lady and the guy she tugs around talking about going into light hyperspace and her getting sick?
And yeah,
And she's
that
like,
seems
it
so
just makes
stupid.
me feel uneasy or whatever she said. I'm like, what was the point of this?
So I
What was
had
that?
in my notes wasted time.
Yeah.
Like this is and also it's like, okay, let's have an obstacle to her maybe traveling and then her heroically overcoming this obstacle, and she just needs Gravol. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's
does
gonna
she
get
want to
gravel.
go?
It's
It's
motion
just
sickness.
just
That's
this
why she's
weird.
green all the time in the face, because she's just nauseous all day long. She's like, I can't look
uh,
what hyperspace did to me. Flashback.
It's just this weird meek little guy. He's like, you might get sick. Like, I'm worried about you, woolies. But also, that guy, whatever his name was, I called him Sherlock Jedi for being such a moron. You know,
oh yeah.
he goes to like the scene of the crime, and just the proposal that maybe Soul did it. He's like, they're all dead. Only Soul can do this. How do you know that? Or they didn't find Osha and Soul, and he goes, they must have survived. Well, maybe they're dead 5 feet away. I don't think he's using Jedi powers. I think he's being Sherlock. He's trying to deduce, oh, the person he fought has erratic footwork that they fought. There was like 13 Jedi. Could you see the footwork at one glance? Because I don't think it's force stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, he's erratic footwork. He's erratic footwork.
uh,
Um, so like these points he's making, they must have survived. You don't know that. There's a fight here, of course, erratic footwork. I mean, I guess you can deduce that. Maybe it was Soul. You might get sick. Like this dude, Sherlock Jedi is just saying dumb things and making conclusions no rational person would jump to.
this is the one scene where like everything has been slowed down. There's no urgency, but if there's a scene where we could have a slowdown and it's reasonable to not have urgency, this is it. Because we see he has his little rat tail, which shows he's within still his Padawan young Jedi stage where he's still learning. And she has a moment where she tells him, it's like, is that what you see? You know, take a look at this at the scene. You know, if the camera work could have gone to the ground, and maybe that's when we see
Yeah.
footsteps. Maybe we see everything is blown out, and maybe we have a nice full wide up shot from an angle where we can visualize everything that she's seeing, and she's trying to show him, look, this is what happened. You know, and we could have that Sherlock moment, kind of like where Sherlock's
Cool.
breaking down things, and it's just like just to have a moment where like, okay, a Jedi is learning something. That's
Mhm.
reasonable. We just didn't get to have that.
Yeah, that's great because you probably can't do it in the TV series, but maybe if there's a season 2, yeah, right. You could have that'd be really cool, kind of a Sherlock Jedi, someone who's really kind of deduces things. That'd be kind of neat. I don't know.
Well, that's what you guys have
Yeah.
been saying the whole time, that the theme is like a investigating, like
Kind of.
CSI type thing, and like that was a perfect opportunity to do it too. They could have had a whole scene, and then could have like built up this guy's character, so this random Jedi out of nowhere, and we're like, oh, a new character now, and then he's just assuming all this crap. Like, yeah, you're right. That would have been awesome if they made that scene a little bit more in depth.
There's two things here. One, I feel like they're making the same mistake that She-Hulk made. She-Hulk could have been a really cool superhero law procedural, you know, something like a Law and Order and stuff like that, but they failed by not having anyone who knew anything about the legal process. Really cool guys. With this, it feels like they're trying to be like an NCIS kind of thing, but they probably have no one who's ever even seen an episode of those things to understand how that even works, let alone how the actual profession works. So drop the ball there. There was something I wanted to add on to like the slowness, which is the very beginning of the episode where this dude Saul is still on the planet, but yet somehow Kamir and Osha, they've already bounced. They're long gone. They're already on unknown planet. How long was Saul still there? Like, how long was he waiting to take his ship up to the skies? You know, because how episode 5 ends last week, we got the sense that they got to the ship and they're on their way out. They're leaving, and then
Yeah.
we see that Kamir is finding Osha. you know. So according to how they put out their timeline, this is how we have to take it. It's just like, well, that's weird that Kamir left before Soul did, when Soul got to his ship way before Kamir did.
Hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. This island kind of gives me vibes of some new trilogy,
Me
like
too.
where Luke was
Hmm.
hiding, or
Yep.
even like the planet where they go to like find the secret Sith thing with the knife and bullcrap.
Yep.
I thought when she woke up, she was in the Wookiee's house. The
Oh,
reason why, here's why. Does he cook the same meal as the Wookiee?
You and the food in the show, like
I
you
was looking
and
at
the
him like, oh,
food.
he's a vegetarian. He's such a sweet man. It's like, want to go to eat some vegetarian food? I literally thought for a second that was the Wookiee place because of the dish he was making. George, your point about
it's possible.
timing is really great. You and Marie mentioned this before the last episode. It was like daytime, nighttime. Like
Mhm.
time doesn't make
Yeah,
sense in this show.
it goes
No.
back to what we're saying. It's like the writers are not paying attention to the things that they're writing. That's always a big problem with me when it comes to this kind of stuff, which is what took me out of Star Wars for a while, is that like when you don't understand the lore that's already put into place, and then the
Mhm.
lore you're creating yourself, like you create rules, and then you got to follow those rules. When you break them, I can't enjoy it anymore,
Yes,
you know?
immersion's gone.
Yeah.
J.R. Tolkien made a really interesting point. He said, it's not suspension of disbelief. The essence of fantasy is belief. Like you actually believe it. And he said explicitly, a world must operate according to its inner logic. And
Yes.
then you could be immersed into it because now it's a world.
Mhm.
It needs that
Yes.
logic, its
Hmm.
own rules as coherent with.
It'd be like the equivalent when you're playing a video game. That's
Yes.
what I think of. It's like I can play in like Assassin's Creed, you know, and in the Animus and I'm set in my world of, let's say,
Mhm.
ancient Italy, and then all of a sudden I'm stuck in my building. It's like, what? Why am I walking into a wall? What's happening? I'm floating. I'm falling to the floor. Everything broke because now I'm in a glitch. Everything is broken. You know, it's like, well, now I'm not having fun anymore. Now I'm lost. It's probably messed up that I use Italy and I use Ezio Story. That's the best Assassin's Creed, but I think everyone gets what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. This Acolyte is nothing but a series of glitches. It's
Yeah.
like, I liked it that they mentioned the political aspect of what's going on behind the scenes, but it's like too late. Like, oh, Rain Court in the Senate wants to do an investigation into the order for some reason. It's like, who's this Rain Court? You should have showed him in episode 1 or 2 because they said we got to avoid a
Yeah.
scandal, we got to avoid panic. It'd be cool if Rain Court has sort of been in the background a little bit so we can get a sense of this threat. Or maybe he's right. It's like, yeah, you guys need to be, investigated.
Yeah. And it wouldn't take much either. It could have
No,
just had a scene where like he's in a hologram and he's like talking to the Senate, like a news thing or whatever. That's all it is.
yeah.
We have to see this character in the background who's constantly like preaching this thing of like the Jedi are this and they're ruining the Republic, you know, whatever, you know. It doesn't take much to have that kind of little information in the background.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just have a couple more points just about Kamir that were kind of that rankled me a little bit. Yeah, so first of all, going into the water, I don't know, maybe it's the depth of the soul or something like that. But he also said that he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
That
sure
was a little
how
bit.
old. I'm thinking like, are you like 200 years old?
Yeah.
But he also talks about, practicing with the Jedi, maybe was that 100, 200 years ago, like when he was a kid. So I thought there's some mysterious part there. Yeah. So I was like, okay, how old? Um, this whole threaten existence, the Jedi threaten my existence. Okay. First of all, threaten existence is sort of a big buzzword today, used a lot. But also the galaxy's pretty big. They're not hunting you. What are they threatening your whole order? I just thought, you could, what do you want? Practice my own ways. There are 10,000 planets. The Jedi don't even know you're around.
Yeah. Exactly. They don't even know who you
Yeah.
are. They don't know where you came from.
Yeah, and finally, I just hate when the word semantics is used in a moral debate in any movie or any argument at all. Because this happens in high school philosophy. You're like, let's talk about moral thought. And then someone just says, it's just all semantics. It just has this high school feel. I just hate that.
Semantics.
But that's particular to me.
There was something when he brought up there's the power two or whatever, like the
Yeah.
wave two or whatever crap. That when he brought
Mhm.
that up, I couldn't help but feel it's like, who'd you learn that from?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And it's like, did the Jedi at one time did they actually teach about the Sith? And it kind of just got swept on the rug because of someone like you, who was kind of like maybe bringing it up too much. Like I do want more out of that. I want him because he seems like he came out of nowhere. He feels like an anomaly at this point.
Mhm.
And as we said it in the past, and now it's like the Sith have been around. You have to learn it from somebody. You know, it's like while there's always two, there's always more. You know, we
Yeah.
look at the prequels, it's like, well, sure, there are a pair working together. There's a bunch of them working together, really.
I'm wondering if he was cast out by a Jedi, and then a witch found him, and they were like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
and then that's why he still feels like he's part of the witch people somehow.
Probably, yeah. That
At
has
least
it's the
little
only thing that
hints.
makes sense to tie it all together. Honestly, I have seen
Mm.
some like speculations where he could be one of two people, like just to tie it into the big Star Wars story, which is always the way. He could be Palpatine, or moreover, he could be
Pelagius?
Plagueis. Yeah, which could add to him living for so long. Like maybe he found a way to use the Force to slow down his
Mm.
aging, and now he's just searching for the next thing, which would be the way of the witches. I saw an interview thing today with Leslie Headland where she talked about what the purpose of the show was and like what her pitch was to Kathleen Kennedy. And she's like, there's never been a story where we've seen it from like the Sith side of things, like from the dark side of things. And she's like, I really wanted to tell that story. Which when you hear that face value, that sounds cool. I've always wanted that story too in live action. Arguably, I'd say that we actually have seen that story just from the Empire side of things with Andor. I watched Andor and I felt like that was me seeing things from the Empire side of things because the Empire felt like the good guys in that movie or that show, while the Rebels seemed like the bad guys. At least with how they told the story. I found myself rooting for the Empire because of how it all played out. I think she may have messed up and she should have watched Andor. She should have and she
Mm.
could have got some good pointers in that show.
I agree with you. Seeing the Sith's point of view, I think would be really good. The Dark Jedi. However, I'm always hesitant to morally relativize it. Like maybe you were led to become a Dark Jedi or Sith in this way, but you're evil.
Evil's evil in the world of Star Wars. That's the bottom line.
Will they continue that under Disney Star Wars?
I know. I'm
No,
wondering now.
no, they won't.
Yeah, I'm wondering like they're trying to make the Sith now seem kind of good. We have to have sympathy for the Sith now. There's blurred lines, man. I took my eyedropper of this wine stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah.
I can
Ew.
see the Sith's side, man.
Yeah. Kamir's washing himself with OSHA May soap in the lake. Wash my scar, OSHA.
When he was like, "Well, if you're not gonna join me, then let me get dressed first." I was like, "Oh, damn, okay,
Yeah.
okay." Just going there right away.
Right. Which, like,
That was
why
a
would she
little.
join you? She just met you.
Well, he's a player, man. He
Yeah.
drops that manipulation very, very quickly.
Yeah.
He
Oh
is
yeah.
very confident with his way of the Force.
And I mean, his arms though, like, okay, I felt bad about myself. I'm like, I need to lift like I used to. I used to lift. Because those arms are
You want those arms to hold you at night in the cold cave after a nice, like hot dish of veggie stew.
make me some more leaves, come here.
Have some
I
more.
have no name. I'll give you one.
First, put on the sensory deprivation mask.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man, just getting kinky now.
Well, there's something going on in the episode. I don't.
Yeah.
So apparently they asked why wasn't there a Wookiee Jedi lightsaber fight scene, and apparently the response was we ran out of money. $180 million, yo.
Oh, but I thought that in the trailer there is a scene of a flashback where they all are there and they're all fighting or something. In the trailer, like I still feel like we're gonna see something like that with all the Jedi that she unalived. I
Yeah.
feel like we're gonna see more of them in a flashback scene still.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 2 more episodes You know, like they could be just keeping it under wraps so people could be excited still when it happens.
There's a happy ending where they all go out to eat some leaves together, kind of like the Avengers.
All
And they're
about the
so
food.
uncreative. They'll just be like, "Hey, want some Borma? Oh, I love Borma."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They roll up the leaves and do like Lady and the Tramp. Apparently, there's some theory out there that Green Lady is the person who gave the scars to Kamir
I was
with the
thinking that.
light
Mm.
with
I
the
was
light
thinking that when I
whip.
watched it. Yeah, like that she could have been his
Ooh.
master.
And
But
she's
she's
really
clearly trying to
badass.
cover it up.
Yeah, exactly.
That looked like whipping scars.
Yeah.
And she likes submissive men. I don't know, man. But I was gonna say when they get together and eat some leaf soup, they need to put some basil in it
Oh.
Oh,
or basil or whatever. A little pip of basil.
a little pip of
So, yeah.
basil. Okay, guys, the 2 episodes left, I guess, for them to tie it all together. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we see some more witches. Hopefully, we see some Jedi Wookiee flashback fighting. I hope so. Some Jedi. Maybe he'll be cooking. He'll be sautéing up some food there, and we'll...
It's the most Wookiee action you'll get. It's just some pan
Yeah,
action in the walk.
yeah. His
got
little
some
man
Mon
bun.
calamari in it. It's a snack.
Thank you for watching this episode of Replays It All, where we reviewed, I talked about, complained about, laughed about episode 6 of The Acolyte. You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. I'm looking right at George. I'm like, am I doing this right, man? Am I still doing it?
Hitting all the
You
points.
can
Hitting all the
follow
points.
me. Thank you, hitting all the. You can follow me on Instagram at Replays It All.
You can also follow me at Nicolopoulos, also on Instagram.
Never stop playing and never stop. Someone take it away.
Eating leaf soup.
Never stop dropping them leaves.
Leaf drop.
That sucked.